Hi, this is Gil Robles. I'm back and I'm doing this quick little sketch here. Actually, this only took me about 40 minutes, less than an hour to do this sketch. It was something that I thought I needed to take a break from all the painting that I was doing. I was doing a lot of painting recently, a lot of digital painting, and working on videos to post both here and on my Patreon channel. And I needed to take a break. I didn't necessarily want to stop drawing or painting, but because I was doing stuff that was more intense, or just required more discipline, I needed to have fun. There's a quote from the painter Degas where he says, painting is very easy when you don't know how, but very difficult when you do. And why is he saying that? Well, you know what? When you don't know how, you're not really worried about getting better at what you're doing. You're just kind of experimenting, and you're throwing paint around, or just having fun. But when you do know how to paint, where you have an idea of what it is that you want to accomplish, and what it is that the ends of what you want your work to look at, what your ends are, then it becomes something different. Then it becomes how you're more disciplined, you're more intense. You want to get better at what it is that you do, and you start seeing your faults more. You start going over more of the details, and you look around at what other people are doing, and you realize you have to compete with this, or or they set a standard, or that you aspire to. You want to be able to master what it is that you do. And if you're like me, I'm very self-critical. I can do a painting or a drawing, and initially I'll say, well, this is the best that I've done, or I like this, or whatever. Then I live with it for about an hour or two, and then I start seeing all the faults, because I want to get better, and I realize that I have to present this thing to the world, and the world is going to judge it. And sometimes the world doesn't see all the faults that we see, but we're aware of our faults, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be self-critical, but one of the things is that it can get very, very frustrating. It can get frustrating because you're looking at yourself negatively, or you're looking at your work negatively, and you're looking at someone else, or you have an eye as to what you want to become, and you're not there yet. The first thing is, you shouldn't be looking at anybody else. You shouldn't be trying to get any better than the last drawing or painting that you did, because your only competition is yourself, really. What somebody else does or doesn't do has nothing to do with what you do. Their best should inspire you. When they're not at their best, that shouldn't make you happy either. That you should be encouraging, you should be helpful, you should be, because the best encouragement we can get is from our fellow artist. The best kind of advice we can get is from our fellow artists. And we need to be able to share this, and to be able to not really compete with each other, and just to be able to learn from each other. Well, the thing is, like I said, it can be very frustrating and very discouraging when we look at ourselves and we're not where we want to be. The thing to do is that is to take a break without running away from it. And what I mean is this painting that I'm doing, I just decided to do it. It's just a fun sketch. I like doing these characters, these wizard characters, Gandalf, or Merlin or whatever, and it's just a fun thing for me to do. It's a nice character sketch or nice character. I mean, I like that. Sometimes I like doing Civil War soldiers. I like doing pirates. I like doing different things that I think might be fun to take me away from doing a straight up portrait or something like that, or even the illustration work that I get every now and then where I have to please a client, and so I have to make sure that what I do is good enough. So, you know what? Taking a break by doing a sketch, taking a break by doing something like this, that to me, it's not too difficult, but at the same time, you want it to look decent, So this in itself is fun, and that's what really a sketchbook should be. Like, sometimes I use my sketchbook and I'm trying to solve problems. I'm trying to, if I have a difficulty with drawing hands at some point, I'll draw hands, or I'll draw feet, or I'll draw, most of the time I'm drawing faces because I enjoy drawing faces. I enjoy doing portraits. But at other times, when I don't have a clue as to what to draw and I want to draw something, I would do something like this. Something that's a character and that I would have fun with, and sort of kind of break your way into doing the things that are more and more difficult. And it's important that you continue to challenge yourself, but at the same time, it's important sometimes just to have fun, because painting and drawing can be frustrating. It is difficult. Sometimes I do not enjoy it. I don't always enjoy painting. I don't always enjoy drawing, but I love it. It's the thing that I get up in the morning for. It's the thing that I think about throughout the day. It's the thing that I want to do, that I can't wait to get back home, to get back to get in front of either my computer or to get out my watercolors or something, to express myself. This is what I enjoy doing. Sometimes when I'm riding a train to work and I'm sitting and I look around at my fellow passengers, I look at what could be an interesting drawing. Sometimes I would take out my sketchbook, and sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just notice the people around me and try and remember it, and then when I get a chance to sketch stuff from memory, just to sketch the people that I observed, and I'll do that. I'll do that, and to have fun with. Sometimes, if you don't get stuck on a medium, on any particular medium, maybe you might want to try a watercolor or something like that, just to try out the medium. And you may not know anything about watercolor. That puts you at the position of the beginning of Degas' quote, which was, painting is fun when you don't know how. Watercolor can be fun when you don't know how. Gouache can be fun when you don't know how. You're just experimenting with these things and throwing paint around and so forth. So sometimes what helps through the frustration is trying out a different medium. I mean, don't get caught up in the argument about what's better, digital or traditional. It doesn't matter. It's the materials don't make the art. You, the artist, make the art. The materials are just the tools that you use to express what you have in your mind. So don't get caught up in what medium is better. Try different things. Try digital if you're not familiar with digital. Try some traditional stuff. And we've all done traditional stuff because everything started with a pencil. We picked up a pencil and we decided that we'd like to draw. And so, go ahead and get back into drawing traditionally and having fun with that. Carry a sketchbook, carry the things, and sketch the things that you see as you go. It could be a tree, it could be, whatever you find interesting. And the thing to do is when you sketch and you show in your sketch why you think any particular thing was interesting, or maybe it's just your imagination. Like this drawing here, I didn't use any reference at all. I didn't need to. It's just just a sketch of a face, very simple for me to do. So what I did was I sketched this out, and I'm sketching it out in grayscale because I'm trying different things. Initially, when I did my paintings in Sketchbook Pro, and again, this is another thing that makes this particular piece or this particular sketch fun, is just trying out new ways of doing things. Initially, like I said, when I did things in Sketchbook and Sketchbook Pro, what I did was I would paint whatever I painted initially in my first layer, and then I would add another layer, and it'd be a normal layer. And what I would do was I'd vary the transparency, like you see me doing here. So, and that way I would begin to build up my painting slowly. Now, again, that was that was my first approach at digital painting. I was not used to digital painting, so what I did was translate what I did with traditional work, with the traditional mediums, into understanding how to use the layers and so forth. I didn't know as much about the different blending modes aside from Multiply, which I used to paint over like black and white pen and ink work. So, but as I was exploring, watching different YouTube videos and learning, I started to learn about the color layer, about the overlay layer, color blend mode, the overlay blend mode. So what I do is when I learn different things, I take a moment to make a sketch like this, and I try those things out. And this is eventually, when I get through with this, I started a little while ago, this is before I started noticing that other people did this too, and it's really a no-brainer. I'm not coming up with anything new, but in traditional art, what you would do sometimes when you work in a classical method is you do a grisaille painting. That's a value painting that is your painting underneath, which you would then apply color over in thin layers, and you would begin to glaze the color over your value, and because you have your drawing and your value structure underneath, it would be easy to build up the color. So in that same way, what I started noticing was that I did the values like I do here, the value in the drawing, like you would do in a traditional painting, and I've seen since then, as I look down, that's nothing new as far as digital. A lot of people have done that, and a lot of people work that way. So then I decided to apply my color in a different blend mode, the overlay blend mode in this particular instance. And then there are other blend modes, like there's Multiply, and there's color that I can apply the colors with, and using that same method. So that was something totally new to me. So this is what I'm doing in this sketch, is eventually when I move to the color, I'm going to switch the blend mode. I'm just taking it as far as I can with the grayscale, and then once I'm done with that, I'll do the color. Now, I was just learning, and since I've done this, I learned even some more about coloring. And now Sketchbook Pro or Sketchbook, since it's changed its name, is limited as far as that's concerned. I mean, not too limiting. I have the color blend mode, the layer blend modes and stuff like that I need to do this. But in something like Photoshop, you have other ways of coloring it, a grayscale image using a gradient map and so forth, that I'm also interested in experimenting with. But for right now, this is my my experiment. I've done I've done a painting similar to this in terms of this method, and I posted it earlier, as far as colorizing black and white or grayscale painting. But it was only once or twice. I'm pushing and I'm learning more and trying to do more and stuff like that. So that, just to pull back for a second, that's kind of what makes it interesting. Again, using like right here, using this brush in a different way to pull out strands of hair. I'm using the blend brush, one of the blend brushes, and with this, or smudge brush, and with this I'm able to pull out you can see by pulling out the strands of hair on the beard and so forth, and so this is something that I've tried a few times, but and I've let go, and I just needed to experiment with some more. So trying out different brushes, trying out different methods, sketching for fun, sketching things that aren't for a client, it's just for you. And it may not be difficult in terms of the subject matter and stuff like that, but it's something that I can still experiment with, still try different things with, and still push myself to learn more. Now, it's important to continue to challenge myself. It's important to do things that are beyond what I know, in terms of drawing and painting and so forth. And I'm just not talking about these little technical tricks. I'm talking about just being a better observer and so forth. But every now and then, it's fun to just take a break and do something like this, just so you don't feel frustrated, just so you can remember that it's fun to paint, and there's a reason why you love this. And that's the reason why I started this sketch. I knew it was going to be easy. I knew it was going to be fun, and because of that, I was able to try out new things. I said, well, try out, mess around a little bit more with the smudge brush. I can go ahead and mess around with the layer editor, and see what else I can do with it, and so and begin to color like I'm doing here. So the color part doesn't last too long. It's actually the rest of this comes very easy, and it's something that I'm learning, and it's fun. And so but that's basically it. That's my video for this week. I hope that this was I hope that the information in this video was useful to you. If it was, go ahead and like the video if you liked it, or make a comment. Let me know what you think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyway, like I mentioned earlier, I do have a Patreon channel now. So if you want to support this channel, I'll leave a link below. You can support it on my Patreon channel, and there's lots of goodies to get there and so forth. But apart from that, I'll always be posting here, and I appreciate any feedback that you might want to give me as far as my videos are concerned. But that's it. This is the finished painting. Hope you enjoyed, like I said, and I will be back with another painting soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.